Last year in 2014, Shell ran a superb conference here at Wokefield Park near Reading. Back then it was all about developing the new retail proposition and working out how they could work with suppliers going forward. Well, that was then. Today in 2015, things have really moved on. And this year for Shell, it's very much about making the strategy work in the local markets around the world. Last year at this event, it was all about ideas. What should we do? This year, it's about implementation, and we're seeing so many concrete examples from Shell about real progress in the different markets around the world.
Between 5 and 8 is one of our key trading times, and we decided that that was something we really ought to target and try and make the most of. We've launched a range of speciality breakfast wraps. We have bacon, sausage, and a vegetarian egg, tomato, and cheese.
How does this signage change?
Right, so we're always thinking of making operations easy for site.
Give us a demonstration. Show us how it works.
So at 11 o'clock, when the breakfast offer finishes, the staff flip these around. It's got the lunchtime menu on, just like that.
Soft drinks, as you know, is an expandable category. Still has low incidence, so plenty of opportunity. We've just done some research with the European Hydration Institute, talking about the importance of hydration and actually the fact that even if you're just slightly dehydrated, it can impact your driving performance and therefore driving safety. So this is something which is critical to Shell and also very important for us to support.
Terrific, thanks very much. Now this is a very interesting machine. It's made by Franke, isn't it?
Yes.
And it produced a good cup of coffee, which I'd like to try. Would you do the honours?
Swiss made. So
exactly. Always the best engineering.
What would you like?
I'll have a small latte, please.
Okay. So what you see here is a user interface, because there's no barista in place. So this replaces the barista, but you still have the choices as if you're in a store, and that's the idea, to shrink it to 1 square meter store in self-serve. So you can choose your drink. We have the latte here. And you can tailor the drink, like in the store, which bean you want, whether you want an extra shot or not, whether you want a syrup to it. I assume you want.
I'll have a
regular one.
I'll have a dark. I'll have one of those.
Regular one, no syrup with it.
No thanks, no.
No sweets. Okay.
And
here you go.
And do you find, I mean, this personalisation that we're doing here, do you think that's quite an important thing, Meryl, for the customer?
Yes, it is. What we see is that kind of a milk-based and fresh bean beverage is becoming more and more important, but we also see the customization of the drink becoming more and more important. People want to have their own drink and they want to make it as they want to. So they want to have the choices and the options. And what we really see is the fact that we offer syrups, we offer different types of beans, also offering a chai tea latte, for example, is really, really successful. What is even better is that the consistency of the machine is fantastic. So it's actually as if you're having a real Starbucks coffee, only made by a machine and not by a barista.
And it tastes pretty good. Do you see there's a good trajectory in the Shell business? Are you seeing the progress in different markets around the world?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's pretty clear that we're moving now from a lot of strategy work to implementation. And as we sort of come up to the end of the first quarter, I'm seeing from my market visits that translated into real activity, propositions, formats in the markets that we're most focused on. So it's great to see it finally, translating into delivery on the ground.
We have almost 80 markets here, all of them unified behind a strong consumer-led message and the concept of Welcome to Shell, which was just released. I have to say also that I'm very moved by the support behind the convenience retailing offer and the recognition that our future growth is going to be grounded on how good we do in convenience retailing. At the same time, there is also support in the form of commitment from the suppliers. A good amount of them are with us in this journey and present during the conference. So yeah, positive all around.
Consumers have less and less time, and consumers want to have convenience, so they don't want to spend in 3 different locations for the need. They want to spend, ideally, to stop in one location and have their groceries, maybe have a bite and fuel their car. It's changing very much, and a lot of consumers now just come for convenience retail. In many markets in Europe, you actually cannot legally open convenience retail stores during Sunday. The only place you can go is retail side. So actually our sites are becoming destinations not just for motorists, but really for families and for consumers who believe this is the best choice for them.
Well, what is essential for the success of Shell's retail partnerships are some of the key people here we've got in the room to answer questions from suppliers and comment really on how they think things are going.
So I'm wondering, given your long-term vision and the partnerships that you have, obviously you're going to have lots of opportunities and some challenges. What else can we as your partners and your suppliers do to help you maximise on those opportunities and also to overcome the challenges that you might face? So what else can we do over and above today?
It's a very good question. I mean, you are in 200 markets and we are in 80. So you can help us also to understand other markets, which can be good also for yourself and building the relationship further. So just continue to support ourselves with all the knowledge that you have with your product range to help us basically to get better in this business.
Well, it's very exciting, and I suppose the thing is there's lots of headroom, isn't there, for growth for the big brands like Coke as well as for Shell?
Yeah, absolutely. What I would like to say that we're still in different levels in different markets. In some markets, we manage the categories pretty well centrally, and we know what we're doing. In some other markets, where traditionally we have not been that much involved, we leave it to the people who actually operate the sites to take decisions. And we talked about that often we don't get this optimal decisions at the local level. So we want our business partners, our people who run the site, to be entrepreneurial, but we also want to be professional and have the same face to the customer. So you can certainly also help us in category management across the board to make sure that really our sites look like a one network. And we're not still there in every single place.
Well, there are other big brands in the audience as well. Unilever, Torsten over here. What's your view on how the relationship has changed, and do you have a level of optimism about it?
We started the journey last May, and Klaus, you're absolutely right in saying, okay, maybe somebody was a little bit skeptical, but from my perspective, we improved fantastically our relationship. So for me, it's absolutely clear what we have done. I would love to hear from your side, from your end, what is one of the biggest achievement from your perspective in terms of cooperating with us over the last 12 months?
One of the successes process-wise is I think we have achieved right now a platform of collaboration in which any category manager from our network could tap into the plans of any other category manager in any country that we operate. And that alone is a fantastic achievement that we have done through the Category Management Advancement Program. But the most important part is that the strength of that is coming from your support, from your ability to activate your network in markets, make sure that the input that is provided is meaningful for that particular market, and we also start seeing growth coming to our businesses.
Klaus, would you like to
just to build on that, I think what we've achieved internally in the last 12 months is a common language around category management. I think what we now see is broadening that to the suppliers as well. And I think it depends a bit on the supplier, but we've seen our process being a catalyst for suppliers to globalize as well. We've pushed some of our partners saying, we want to have the conversation about selling more of your product in your market. So it's a mutual adjustment to a world that is truly global. However, insights at product level in many ways are global. We are now getting ready. Many partners are getting ready, so we're learning together. And I think then that is the big economy of scale that we can provide also to our partner, becoming a one-stop shop for launching products potentially in the future together on a large scale in markets that are your priority or that could be ours, or ideally both.
Now let's just talk for a moment about coffee. You have a very close relationship with a number of key coffee brands, and Costa, for instance, are one of them.
I mean, it's an astounding success in that in less than 2.5 years, we've grown a business that's got just over 1,200 coffee in 1,200 locations and is selling probably in excess of 40 million cups a year. So I mean, it is a resounding success, and certainly from our experiences, I've never worked with an organisation that actually behaves, not just thinks so globally. You shrink the world when you work with Shell, in that there is genuinely an opportunity to grow quickly internationally with you. So I think from our perspective, I think what it does is it challenges brands like us to think about format. There isn't there can't be a one size that fits all. And I think from a brand perspective, the one thing about the quality and consistency is key. So certainly we see technology as being really important. The coffee's got to be right, there's no doubt about that.
So perhaps looking to the future, Istvan, how do you see this partnership with some of these key suppliers developing? It's core to the success for the future, isn't it, as far as Shell are concerned?
I mean, the Costa relationship is a good example for all of our suppliers. Indeed, as we talked about, is our advantage we have is that we are able to make global decisions. So essentially, we do have a global business. We globalized it 10 years ago. So not always you find that. Very often you hear this, that we are global, and then the guy says that these are the head office guys, but I make my own decisions and all the rest. In our case, it's an interesting one. We believe in being strong locally, exactly what you say, not one size fits all, but at the same time, it is a global business for us that we would like to do, and we need good partners, global partners to help that. And I must say, when it comes to Costa, it's really amazing story. I also seen this amazing development, but it's the same with all the other partners we have in the business. We're ready to grow, and we're ready to do bigger things. It's not something which will go away. This is a very, very clear strategy, and we need you, and we appreciate your support.
Big businesses like Shell put together an international strategy, and their senior management team have done that, and they've done that well. But what really counts for Shell in the future is the local markets, and for them to take up that strategy and run with it. From what I've heard today, that looks pretty encouraging. This is Dan Munford for Retail Vision, Reading in the UK.